Hey there, this is Fred here at the Paper Tiger, and with this video I hope to show you how the basic steps work on how to get started with the software. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to create a database, we're going to add a couple locations to that database, and then we are going to print out our labels for our hanging file folders, and we're going to do that all from within Paper Tiger. Just to let you know, this is a getting started video. And before you watch this video, I really suggest that you go ahead and if you click here on your help guide, there is a getting started guide that comes with the software, and it really does a great job as far as explaining the terminology that I'm going to be using throughout this video. So please go ahead and make sure you read that, and then you can go ahead and start watching this video. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a database. I'm going to show you how to create a database just in case you want to actually get started from scratch. I know that the software will go ahead and prompt you to create a database the first time you turn it on, but maybe either you did it a long time ago, you don't remember if you did it correctly, or you just want to start over and get a fresh start. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. From within the software, if you go to the File menu and you go to New and then to Add New Database, this will go ahead and bring up the database wizard. The software is going to ask you to enter your database name, and I would go ahead and just keep this simple. It doesn't need to be anything specific or fancy. Just make it something that you'll remember, especially if you're going to have multiple databases. You want to be able to tell apart between them. The only thing you cannot do here is you cannot have any non-alphanumeric characters, meaning you can only have numbers or letters in the name, no periods, dashes, or anything funky like that. So I'm going to go ahead and call this database the testDB. Once you go ahead and put in the name, go ahead and hit OK, and Paper Tiger will crunch its gears for a little bit, and soon enough we should have a working Paper Tiger database. Alright, looks like we're ready to go. The first thing that the software is going to ask you once you go ahead and create your new database is if you want to set up locations. Now, this is actually a great time to set up your locations. So let's go ahead and hit yes. Let me just give you a quick overview. Remember that you should kind of separate your files with two basic concepts. The concept of an action item, which is an item that you're going to be referring to either weekly, daily, or even monthly, can be considered an action item. Action items should be located as close as possible to where you work, meaning if you are on your desk, it'd be great if it was a desk drawer or something like that where you could put up your files and be within hand's reach. That's what action files are. The other type of files can be reference files. These files are pieces of paper or information that you access either quarterly or yearly, stuff like your tax return or some contracts, other stuff that you don't need daily access to, but it's still important to be able to refer to them quickly if needed. So I'm going to go ahead and create two locations. I'm going to create an action location and then a reference location. So let me go ahead and show you how to get started here. The wizard comes up, the location wizard, and it's going to ask you for the name of the location. Let's go ahead and just make it action. As far as the notes go, this is a place where you can just verbally describe what the location will do either for you or for somebody else. Remember, if you're in a networking environment, this would be a great place to kind of show your coworkers or other people sharing information in your network what this location is about. So I'm going to go ahead and type up a quick description. Okay, this doesn't have to be anything fancy. So, okay, once you go ahead and put the location name and the notes, if you want, the notes are not required, by the way, go ahead and hit next. Let's not worry about a review frequency right now. We'll go over that in a more advanced video. As far as the capacity goes, this is very important. The capacity will denote how many file folders will fit in this file. You can always change this later, so don't feel like you have to make your first guess the right guess. This can be editable, and you can add and subtract folders as you please. For now, let's go ahead and put a basic number of 40. And once you have that in, go ahead and hit next, and it's going to show you the summary. It's going to show you the name, the notes, the review frequency, and the capacity. And if you want to go ahead and just create one location and then go right into the software, you can hit this button to save and close. Or if you want to create a new one, which in this case we do, let's go ahead and hit save and new, which will open up the wizard again for us to add another location. If we go ahead and click that, now I'm going to fill in reference this time for my reference files. Let me add a quick note. And again, I'm going to go ahead and hit next. I'm not going to put a review frequency for now. And I'm going to put the capacity of this file, of this location, as the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and hit 40. Hit next. Once again, the software will show me the summary view. And this time I can go ahead and hit save and close because I'm done adding locations. Okay, looks like our database is completed, and we've went ahead and added 2 locations, an action and reference, and we should be good to go. So go ahead and click the OK button, and now the software is going to ask you whether you want to set up a password for the database. This is important if you have information that you don't want freely accessible to anybody. You know, if anybody jumps on your computer and opens up your Paper Tiger, they might be able to find your files. So if you have anything sensitive, I'd suggest to go ahead and put in a password. I'm going to go ahead and put no for now because we don't need a password this time around. Okay, so now we've gotten the location set up in our digital realm, meaning our locations are set up in the computer. Now we need to go ahead and set up the location physically, either in your desk or your file cabinet, to reflect what the software has set up now. So in order to do that, I'm going to show you a great tool that the Paper Tiger comes with, which is called the Tab Wizard. If you go up to the Report menu up here, and then go to Labels, and then click on the Print Labels button. And this is going to be, this is called the Label Wizard, and it's going to show you how to print out your tabs for your different locations. Now that we have this open, it's going to ask you to choose the locations that you want to print tabs for. In this case, we're going to pick the action and the reference locations. Now, keep in mind that if you click on the 2 separately, it'll go ahead and select them. In order to deselect each one of the menus, you have to go ahead and click that one again, like I just did. So again, I'm going to go ahead and select the action, and then just click on the reference one, and that'll select both of them. Once you do that, go ahead and hit next. And then this is very cool. This will actually allow you to pick a label size as far as if you've got some Avery labels, you can go ahead and purchase those like the ones you see on the list, and the software will automatically format the print to fit on those labels. I'm just going to go ahead and pick the 8167 just because I've got a couple of those laying around. Go ahead and hit next. And then for fields to include, this is going to, it's asking you what fields it wants to include in each one of the labels. So for now, we're going to just do the location and the item number since we don't actually have an items put in there. This will, I'll show you what it creates in a second. Let's go ahead and hit next. And here, the tool will allow you either to print from a range, meaning that if you're adding more folders to a location, you could say, okay, I want to print from range 20 to 40, or on the other hand, it asks you if you want to print labels for the entire location like we are now, and this will actually help us get set up because it'll print labels for every one of the folders that we have set up in there, in this case 40. So let's go ahead and hit select for the entire location. Go ahead and hit next, and here's going to show you a summary. The locations that we picked, the label size. If you want to select the fonts or do anything like that, you can go ahead and customize anything in there and reset to the defaults. You can also adjust the margins in here if you're trying to print on a sheet that maybe we don't have a preset for in there. Again, it's going to show you what fields to include and how many labels to print. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and hit print preview so that I can show you what the result's going to look like. And if we give this just a second, it'll go ahead and generate our report. Here we go. And now you can see that Of course, this is formatted for that Avery sheet we picked, but you can see that we created two locations, the action location with 40 folders, and it went ahead and printed us 40 different labels for our action folders. And it did the same exact thing for our reference folders. You can see here it starts from reference 1, and it goes all the way up. If we come to the next page, it went ahead and printed out 40 reference labels. Okay, so now once you go ahead and print those out, the last step you need to do is you need to go ahead and open up whatever drawer you're going to pick for your action and your reference files, and go ahead and put 40 folders in there. And in each one of those 40 folders, you're going to go ahead and put a label for each one of them. So you're going to have 40 folders, 1 through 40, labeled, for example, with reference 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 40. And now your setup in your actual physical filing system, which is your drawer or your cabinet, is going to reflect what the virtual filing system that we have in Paper Tiger is. I'm going to go ahead and hit note. I don't want to save this report. Oops. Hit yes. And now if we see here, we can go to our locations button and see the action location and the reference location, both with 40 open slots. So that should take you through getting the location set up in the software and actually getting your physical location set up in your filing cabinet.